Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Chelsea, and welcome to Nick and Chelsea's Gen Excellent Adventure,
where we chronicle 50-something parents of a 5-year-old as we move from the USA to the UAE.
You can also follow along with our journey on our Instagram page, Nick Chels Gen Excellent Adventure, or you can just type in the name of this podcast and that will work too. If you have any questions or subjects you'd like us to address, go ahead and send them through our Instagram page. We would love your suggestions.
Absolutely. As for this week, this is what I'm calling our I'm Your Wonderwall episode, because our first topic is something called Dubai Silicon Oasis.
Yes, and we're going to go back to that. But first, since Nick actually mentioned the title of this podcast, I should say that in case anybody hasn't noticed, every single episode is titled with a song lyric, because Nick is a super music nerd, and I thought I was a music nerd, and then I met Nick and I gave it all up. So...
Well, I enjoy it.
You
Coming
do.
up with a lyric that is hopefully Gen X appropriate.
Yep.
That fits with the theme of parts of each of our podcast episodes. Just a little something fun for me to do.
I know. It really is in his wheelhouse. Like it's so perfect. And they're pretty clever. So nice work, babe.
Thank you.
Okay, so Dubai Silicon Oasis.
Yes, so what Dubai Silicon Oasis is it's a...
What is it called that? It's just called Silicon Oasis.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can call it Silicon Oasis. That's fine.
Yeah.
But basically, it's kind of a neighborhood here in the city. And we know about it because...
of T's Gaelic football. So all of you listeners who I'm sure listened to last week's episode have heard us talk about his first experience with Gaelic football. So this week was his second experience, and he joined the correct team, the Shamrocks, or group. I don't really know if you can call it a team. And with some wonderfully Irish kids and their wonderful Irish names. And he had a great time.
Yeah, well, it was different this week because they were outside.
Yes, that was huge.
This was the first time for this season that they actually did it outside. They were in a gym last week and a couple of weeks before that
right.
was before we had come in. And so it's still very, very warm, even though this is early in the morning. It's at 8 o'clock.
It's still hot.
Yeah, it was hot out there, and there were moments where T was...
He was definitely like...
I want to stop because I'm hot.
And he's allowed to. We didn't know how to handle that completely. We were unprepared. But part of that was he also had to pee. So I figured that out later. But anyway, afterwards, when I did eventually take him to the bathroom, it was in an air-conditioned area with a lobby. And I ran into this other mom who I'd met the week before. And she is one of the organizers here. And she said, oh, goodness, no, I just bring my girls in. We took 2 breaks. Like, they're reacclimating. It is okay to do that. So we have a plan for next week, and we'll talk it over ahead of time.
Well, and he rallied.
He did.
At the end, they actually had kind of a little scrimmage where they tried to play the actual sport, which I would say that was of limited success with these 5-year-olds.
5-year-olds, yeah.
And he really kind of got into that part of it.
He did, because anytime he gets a chance to kick a ball or defend a goal, he is all in. Mm-hmm. So he was really into that. He picks up sports really pretty fast, and also wants an opportunity to prove himself. He's fairly competitive. So that part was fine. Anyway, because we were there, we thought, let's do a little bit of exploration.
Yeah, so this is actually a ways out from where we're at.
Yeah.
It's about, a 35-minute drive on a very, very slow Sunday morning. So there's no traffic slowing us down. That is the fastest you're ever going to get from one place to another in this city.
Right.
And so that's how far out you got to go. It's out east away from the coast and kind of really on the edge of town. I don't think you have to go very far from there before you're just in straight out desert.
Yeah, because you can kind of feel that desert switch as you go out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just looks a little bit different. But we had not explored it at all. All we'd done was kind of drive around it briefly the week before just to get an eye on it. And this time we decided to go to breakfast.
Well, let's explain what this is first.
Okay. Oh, right. I actually haven't done my research yet.
Yeah, I did a little research so I can give you kind of an idea of what Silicon Oasis is. So what they have in Dubai is several areas that are designated as free trade zones. And what they mean by that, as far as I can interpret, is that these are areas where foreign companies can go ahead and set up shop and have, tax benefits, whatever. It's designed for businesses, to attract businesses.
Yeah.
And there's 20 some of these here in Dubai.
Which makes sense now, especially makes more sense to me now hearing that, because this is 90+% expats. Mm-hmm. And that explains a lot of that.
But what they are, so these free trade zones are small little kind of like neighborhoods set up at various different places around the city that are all kind of meant to cater to a specific industry. So there's like Media City, for example.
Yeah.
Is another one, and I'd have to go look up what they all are, but they're kind of all meant to have businesses that are around the same thing. And being Silicon Oasis, I think you can probably figure out what this one is supposed to be.
Which is interesting because I saw on the map something that said Internet City, and I'm like, is that one?
I think it is.
So I wonder what the difference is between that and Silicon Oasis.
Right, exactly. Well, anyway, the Silicon Oasis is supposed to be a tech area. I don't know that it's limited just to that, but that's what it is. And the size of it is, what I saw, it was like 47,000 square meters or something. It's a neighborhood size. It's not huge.
Yeah. It didn't look huge. I mean,
we did a full circuit basically of the perimeter of it when we did our drive from one spot to another, where we took the scenic route
on purpose, and
that only took like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's a huge neighborhood. It's a pretty contained neighborhood. One thing that I think, I'm not 100% certain of this, but one thing I think, that if you're driving around Dubai, you're going to see a lot of little pockets of tall buildings in downtown areas.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100%.
And I think that those are the free market zones. I think some of those are the free market areas.
I feel like that's all of Dubai, though. All of it is like pockets with big, huge, tall buildings.
Yeah, but what I mean is that some of those pockets are these free trade zones.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't think Silicon Oasis didn't have like the skyscrapers in it like some of these
No,
others
they were definitely shorter buildings. I mean, they weren't short, but compared to where we are here, compared to downtown, compared to where I went to the JLT area, which stands for Jumeirah Lake Towers, but there's no lake there, but there was, but then I guess they had too many mosquitoes. Anyway, they filled it in, so there is no lake, but in Jumeirah Lake Towers, those are towers. I mean, it felt like tall buildings.
And I think it's because this one is farther out.
Yeah.
It's not near the main downtown area. It's more on the perimeter of the city at this point. And so I think that's maybe why it doesn't have the skyscrapers that some of these other little pockets have.
And it feels a little bit more residential. Yeah. And I wouldn't, aside from the name, I wouldn't have known, because we're there on a Sunday, like what the industry was. I could have guessed by that name, but you don't see it everywhere. Because you see mostly like apartment living and big roundabouts and lots of markets.
And that is an interesting point that you bring up about residential. And that's one thing that in doing a little reading about this particular spot, Silicon Oasis was set up so that you could live and work in the same area.
That's
and
nice.
I don't think all of these free trade zones have the ability to live in them.
Okay.
So that might make this one a little unique if I'm interpreting what I've read correctly.
Probably you are. Okay, so that's Silicon Oasis. So we drove around. The first thing we did was look for a place to eat. So we figured that out beforehand, and we went, and it was really cute. It was pretty good food.
Yeah.
And lots of good food in this area. But it was small, but we were the only people there for a little while. And the guy who served us and took our order and everything was so sweet and just really engaged with T. And T had this pretend money he's been getting at childcare, which is like the after school care that they have at school. And they let the kids they give the kids some money. I don't know if they win it. I have no idea. But then they can use it to like buy things at childcare. And so he has been carrying it around with him, some of it. And he,
like, what has he bought with his money there at childcare?
Like Pokemon cards, stuff like that. And sometimes chocolate or candy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be too picky about it, to be honest. Like, it's engaging him a lot, and he loves the money. So then he pulls this money out, and the guy comes over, and he's like, "Oh, are you paying for the meal?" And T was like, "No." But then he kind of got into it with him, and they kind of went back and forth about it. It was cute. So then at the very end of our meal, when we were finally leaving, and, you know, restaurant eating with a 5-year-old takes a long time. So it was a long time. At the end, I'd already paid through the app or through their QR code, but T had his money out, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to go pay the guy?" And so he went up and like interrupted the conversation that colleagues were having, and he handed him some money, and it was actually very sweet. They all got into it with him, and he felt really happy, and I was like, "Thanks." So, and the reason I think it's important to mention that is because people do talk about how Dubai is a really child-friendly town and a very like kid-oriented, and I think that is for the most part true. I think especially at restaurants. Wouldn't you say? Like, you talked last week about the Little Bangkok place and how they had
the kids meals.
Yeah, and how we've seen that at a couple places, or toys for kids, and I would say they treat kids really well, and they feel, you know, like they're part of the team.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like that.
So after driving around Silicon Oasis for a little while, we did decide to stop and actually go to one of the malls.
Yes.
There. It was called, what was it called? It was called Silicon Central.
Yep.
And it was nice. I mean, it's a newer mall. It was big.
Yeah.
And on a Sunday morning, it wasn't crowded, so that was nice as well.
Yeah, I posted a bunch of photos of just Silicon Oasis in our Instagram. I don't think in the stories. I don't think it's like particularly clear what the town, little neighborhood looks like, but you can see the outside of the mall in there, because the outside of the mall is really cool.
Yeah, and the inside was too. I mean, it's got
I really liked it.
Gigantic, tall ceilings that have the glass, you know, the decorated glass.
Yeah, it was really pretty.
Or the architecture up there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I say it feels a little Covent Garden-like if anyone has been to
I see that.
London.
Mm-hmm. But, like, way more modern.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I think...
But the idea is to make it ornate and look really nice and not just be functional.
Yeah, and it was vast, and my new standard is, how crowded is it? That's my new standard. If it's not crowded, I like it more. So, and it was not crowded. And I actually like a crowd, but I think with the mall, I'm kind of over it. So look at us talking about the malls we like. We're so Dubai now.
It only took us 2 months or 8 weeks to get to where we are.
It's actually kind of impressive.
Yeah. But it was, I think that we can go ahead and move into our next topic now because of why we went to the mall there in Silicon Oasis.
Right. We were getting incessant texts and emails from Virgin Mobile saying, you need to update your Emirates ID. And because we originally were on a passport as our ID, and we now have the Emirates ID, we had to do that in person. We couldn't do it on the app.
So basically what we've been having to do is every month, because we didn't have Emirates IDs, our phone plan would need us to come in and bring our passports back to take another photo again after 1 month.
Yeah, which is only one other time.
We would be able to do this on their app if their app was actually functioning right now.
Yeah, it's really confusing because the guy started to tell me, oh, you can just do it on the app, and then he was like, oh, wait, you had a passport. No, you can't. So, which we figured out. We did. That's why we came in. So we were looking up to see where a Virgin kiosk was, because they have these all over. And it was in the mall over by the Lulu hypermarket. And unfortunately, there's only one person usually working at these kiosks, and somebody could come in and really ask for a plan for the very first time and have a ton of questions. And that's what happened. So it was a really long wait while a couple went through that. No, and listen, if it were my first time getting a plan, I would have also liked to ask a lot of questions. As it was, when we got our plan in the airport at the grocery store, we were really rushed and did not have time to ask lots of questions. So I was like, take your time, do it right. So it was a long wait, but we did get our IDs updated.
Yeah, so now we shouldn't have to go back and get photographs every month now to keep our phone plans going. And that's just one of the complications we've had with utilities.
Yes.
And so that's sort of what this next segment is about, is what have we done as far as, have we figured out how to pay our utilities or deal with our utilities?
No, we have not. But I will say, on the Virgin note, we were complicated with Virgin, but we'd actually paid the plan an entire year up front. So we're like, man, we have to do all this and we've already paid for our plan. Like, we don't even have a bill. No, for the next one that we had to handle that we did handle while we were there, because I happened to see the storefront, was Do. And Do is spelled D-U, and that is an internet provider, also cable provider here in Dubai. So we have Do home internet and Wi-Fi, and that was interesting because when we got the internet installed, we didn't know it was also Wi-Fi. It's just like automatic, because at home you have to get your own router. You know, it's just different. So all of that was just done for us. So we have Do, but we've had it since mid-August. We were like, I don't have a bill. I have no idea how to find a bill. I am looking it up online. The app isn't working. I don't understand.
And this was kind of like the school sort of guided you a certain direction on
Not
this.
the school itself. It was a representative for Do that does have access to us through the schools, through the new staff WhatsApp. So I used him, and that was fine, and he was great, but I just didn't know how to get any information. So I probably should have messaged him, but I didn't do that. So anyway, I saw the Do storefront. I waited in line. You had to take a ticket, which is true at a lot of places here. And I eventually talked to this guy, and he looked me up. Well, I couldn't have looked myself up, or I couldn't have updated my ID because, again, we'd used a passport. And so unlike Virgin, where we had to change it to the ID, this one, you just use your passport the whole time you have service. You just stay on the passport. You don't change it. And then when he looked me up, it turned out, and he was trying to get me the OTP, which is the authenticator.
Yeah, the one-time pass.
Yeah, the one-time. Oh, that's what it stands for. Oh my gosh. I'd be like, I don't understand what OTP means. Okay, one-time pass. Yeah, it's like that two-factor thing. Anyway, I wasn't getting it. Like, he was typing it in, I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting the email. I wasn't getting the phone number. Well, it turns out both of those were incorrect. They were typed in incorrectly by whoever entered them. It wasn't me. And so therefore, I had not gotten any bills. They had actually been sent, though.
Okay.
So I should have been paying. Anyway, I paid it all right there. It's fine. It just was like, oh, good thing we saw this place, because I could not have done this any other way than going in person.
I mean, that was really, when you think about it, that was a really fortunate moment, because I don't think I've seen a Do spot anywhere else.
I mean, we haven't been looking for it, so.
Well,
yeah.
But I mean, it hasn't been noticeable, and it just so happened that in our attempt to find a Virgin kiosk,
we also found Do.
Wandered past it, Do, and were able to take care of two of our utility things at one swoop, which was great.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll give you an update on how we paid everything else, because that's still confusing. But we know we have utilities that we have to pay for. We just aren't totally sure how to get to the payment part of it, or what the bill actually is.
Right, because we were this wasn't until at least a month after we'd been here.
Oh yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
about how to access the utilities page. What's it called? It's
DEWA.
DEWA. DEWA.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as far as I can tell, they handle like all the utilities. Like there's water, there's electricity, there's cooling, which is your air conditioning, which apparently is a completely independent
right.
utility.
And some, like, not for us, it's not true, but there are some buildings where that's included.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not most, but some.
And they have a page that you can access that shows you what you're charged, and you're also supposed to be able to pay through that page.
Right.
But the problem is that the account is under the name of the owner of the units.
Or it was. When we checked a couple weeks ago, it said 0. It also said 0 for everything. True. So we were like, so we'll just check again.
But the email that you got said that you would be able to pay through there.
Yeah.
And at that moment, as far as I could tell, I couldn't figure out how you would actually go about being able to pay on.
But we haven't looked again.
Right.
So
maybe once there's a balance, they'll let you go in and actually pay something.
Let's see if they have the right email address. Okay, so moving on, also, which we did not go to, but also at this mall was a Lulu, which I mentioned.
What is Lulu?
Lulu is a supermarket, essentially, but most of the time it is a hypermarket. Babe, okay. Do you want to explain the difference between a supermarket and a hypermarket?
So a hypermarket here in Dubai would be more like your Target or your Walmarts.
Your big ones. Your huge ones.
For people in the Seattle area, your Fred Meyer.
Yeah.
In that they have a full grocery section, but also everything else.
Pots and pans and clothes and toys and bikes and everything. I would say Lulu caters more to the Indian population here. And I was talking to my coworker who's Indian who was like, "Oh, you've been to Lulu?" I was like, "Oh, yes. I don't know what to buy though." But they have a lot of things. I mean, lots of people are shopping there. The Lulu near us is an older Lulu. The Lulu at that mall was so nice. And we didn't spend time going in there. We just looked at it from afar, and that's where the Virgin kiosk was. It was 2 floors because the mall was 2 floors. And if we go back there, I would be happy to do a grocery run there because I was like, oh, this is so nice here. I would like to spend time in this store.
That's a long drive back with groceries.
If we're all that's true. Yeah.
There's a Lulu over in the same mall as IKEA.
Oh.
And that's nicer too.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a hypermarket there. It is just
a grocery store.
A supermarket.
Supermarket.
And then I guess you would say that the most prominent of the hypermarkets would probably be Carrefour. You think so?
I don't know how many Carrefours are hypermarkets. I mean, I know the one at MOE, Mall of the Emirates is. I know that one is. And how many are there?
Well, I mean, we have a Carrefour essentially right across the street from here, kitty corner, except that crossing that street is impossible as a pedestrian.
Yeah. Is that a hypermarket though?
No, I don't think
Yeah, that's what I meant. So I don't know if it's the most prominent because I think Carrefour has a lot of just regular supermarkets. I would say maybe Union Co-op is pretty substantial. I don't know. That's a good question. But anyway, hypermarket is a big thing here. Hypermarkets are a big thing here. And people like to do their one-stop shopping there. You do have to learn the lay of the land, like the layout of the place. The Lulu near us, the first time I went there, I was like, oh shoot, I did that in the wrong order, and now I'm just gonna not do the grocery part of it because I just didn't plan correctly. They was on 3 different floors, and you had to check out at each one. Anyway, it was confusing, but I think I'm getting it down a little bit better now. So, hypermarket versus supermarket. Moving on to mail.
Mail, yes. So, I don't know if there's anyone listening who would like to try to mail us something. I'm not sure we would know how to make that happen.
Yeah. I mean, we know technically what we're supposed to do, but if you want anything shipped to our actual home, that you cannot do.
And that's because we don't have a mailing address.
We do not. What also means we don't have junk mail, and I am cool with that. We don't have any mail. Like our table at home was always covered with mail, not because we hadn't gone through it. And then like once a month I'd go through it all and it would look good for 2 days at the most. Here our table is also covered without junk mail. But that's because we have a smaller place and fewer places to put things. Regardless, there is no way to ship to Dubai unless you have like accounts through these other places. Like Amazon can ship.
Right. The delivery services.
Yeah.
And delivery services, it's different because I think that all you really need to give them is the name of your building and what area you're in, which for us would be Al Barsha 1. Mm-hmm. And I think that they would figure out how to get it to you.
That's right. Name of your building. If you didn't even leave the flat number, they'll just call you and then make sure. But yeah, usually you put your flat number, your apartment number.
I mean, you don't even need the street, really.
But we do want to send postcards. We promised we would to some of T's friends and vice versa, do a little pen pal thing. And so apparently we're supposed to give them our school mailing address, and that's how the mail comes.
Okay.
But I have to look that up to make sure I do it right. But yes, because they have a P.O. box. And if we wanted to, we could get a P.O. box, but then you have to pay for that, and it just feels like most people aren't going to be shipping us things, and it's okay to send it to school. So
the school doesn't even have a mailing address. They only are able to get it through their post office.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they of course they get deliveries too. But yeah, I tried to get something shipped to school and they turned it away because it was after hours. So I was like, oh, lesson learned. And I just got refunded because they were like, nope. Okay. So that's the mail situation. And now we can move on to our Excellents and Boguses.
Yes. So
you want to do your intro?
Oh, right. Right. Time for Excellence and Boguses.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Nick, what is your excellent?
Okay, well, for this week, my excellent is that I am official now. Woohoo! So I now have a residence visa and an Emirates ID, and that means I can stay in the country now.
Woohoo!
For 2 years.
That's right.
In fact, I'm eligible to stay longer than you now.
That's true. Yeah, because his got completed this week, and so the date is like a month after my date expires, or mine expires. And same with T. He's official now too, so we're all good. We're all sorted. Got that information to the school. Can get the insurance figured out now. Mm-hmm. This is exciting.
And that also opens up some work possibilities for me. Now that I have official residence, it doesn't mean you can just go and get any job. I mean, there's still some work permit things that you got to figure out depending on what kind of job you might get.
Yeah.
But it means that the ability to do that is there now.
Yep. So stay tuned to see if this does in fact lead to any new opportunities. But we have at least one that Nick is pursuing, and so should find out more in a couple of days. Okay.
All right. So what's your excellent from the week?
My excellent is a little bit silly, but it was our first good homemade tacos. And by homemade, we mean American-style tacos. We're not talking street tacos, amazing which we also love, by the way. And we get taco trucks at home. And, taco trucks or taco stands in Mexico. Yum. But no, these are the kind I grew up with beans and flavored meat and cheese and lettuce and all of that. Sour cream. So we have tried it a couple times.
Well, I mean, it's just not as big a thing here, which makes sense. I mean, we're across the globe from Mexico.
Yeah, it's people will talk. You'll see on Facebook pages that people are like, "Where can I get good Mexican?" and other people will be like, "Nowhere." So
yeah, there's not much in the way of restaurants.
Yeah,
and getting the right type of ingredients at stores isn't necessarily as easy.
Right, but we have found that Spinny's has the kind of ground turkey that we are used to. They have at other stores kind of like tubes, almost like sausage tubes of ground chicken. And even though ground turkey in the way I'm used to it from the States is not exactly pretty, for some reason it grosses me out less than those little tubes. I don't know, this is just so silly because I'm sure they're exactly the same. Why does it matter? But we got the one, or Nick found it at Spinneys, and then we found some places that have actual taco seasoning packets, although we did bring one with us, so that's what we used this time. The only thing that you can't find so far, now that we've figured this out, is green taco sauce, like salsa verde taco sauce style, which we both really like. And I would flavor the beans with that, and I just really miss the verde, but we're going to bring some back when we go home at the holidays. So, but we made tacos after a couple one failed, one mediocre attempt, and now we finally got a good one. Everybody liked it. Everyone ate tacos for days.
Well, and this is a kind of an important thing because T, he really likes his tacos, and it's great being able to now have something that we know that he's going to love.
Right, because there are things he's gotten pickier, and we do not make a separate meal for him. We're very firm on that, but he's definitely gotten more willful.
More opinionated about dinner.
Yes.
And not afraid to let us know what he thinks about it the moment he takes a look at it.
Yep, exactly. So sometimes he'll eat it and then it'll be fine, or take a bite and then it'll be fine. But tacos have always consistently stayed like something he enjoys. It's true. And if for you Seattleites out there, taco time is one of our family favorites. Yes, it's not real Mexican, but it's so tasty. And it is one of T's favorites. He always wants a bean burrito. All that said, we're just doing it the way we do it at home, and he likes them. So I'm happy to get that excellent thing going. Okay, so now onto boguses. What is your bogus?
Okay, so mine is related to my excellent, and really this is...
Wait a second, what?
This is a very, very minor bogus. I mean, it's about as minor as it gets. But, so one of the steps or really the last step I needed to take in order to get my ID was to go get my biometrics, which is basically going and being fingerprinted.
It's digital fingerprints, yep.
And so I had an appointment at this place called the Al Barsha Customer Happiness Center to go get my fingerprints taken. And I go up to reception desk, and they tell me I have to go home because I'm wearing shorts. And I have to go get pants.
That made me laugh so hard because I didn't even think about it with Nick. I know that I can't go there with shorts on, and I can't wear a tank top. Like, I know all those things. So I didn't even think to tell Nick, wear pants. I actually didn't know if men were going to get the same kind of treatment. So I giggled a lot when he told me that. Thankfully, we don't live that far away.
Right, yeah. It was a 5-minute drive back home, and then it's 10 minutes to get there because of the complicated ways you have to do U-turns and stuff.
Yeah.
But I did have to tell them, is it, because I had an appointment time.
Yeah.
And I had to tell them, is it going to be okay if I come back in 20 minutes? And they said, yeah. One asked the other, is that, and that person kind of nods. And so I was on a hurry. I mean, that's probably the closest I've come to
rushing here,
putting myself in danger of getting a speeding ticket.
Oh yeah, we've been very careful.
Not ticket, a speeding fine.
Yeah, we've been careful about that.
But it was fine. I got back and no problems at all. But it was unexpected.
Yeah,
I was not prepared for being too underdressed to get my fingerprints taken. And one of the things that was really kind of like made me go, is that I come back in my pants. They let me go into the room, and somebody at one of the stations being helped is a guy sitting there in shorts.
I really think it depends on who you get.
Well, I also think that this person had a young child with them. Maybe he said, I can't do this. I gotta do it now. And that it was a much more involved thing that this person was doing, because they were there when I being helped when I got there, and they were still there.
Well,
when I
and
left.
good. Hopefully they were giving them grace for that situation.
And like I said, it was probably about a 3 or 4 year old.
Yeah.
And I can see where
yeah.
you could be in a situation where I can't go home and come back.
Well, in all honesty, the weekend before, I had tea at a different center. We're still not sure if it was a government run center or facilitated for the government. But I was wearing shorts, and it was an unplanned visit. I was there an hour and a half, and I thought, as I walked upstairs to go there, I was like, oh my gosh, are they going to make me leave because I have shorts on? That would be totally their right to do that. But they didn't, and I was so grateful because I had tea with me, and I thought, gosh, I'll never get this done if I don't do this right now. That said, as we walked from where we parked to that space, we went through a department store in the basement level, and I was like, okay, I can get pants here if I have to. I was like, all right, I will only be gone 15 minutes if I have to go anywhere and change.
Well, one thing that I would say that's different, this was an actual government building that
is a difference.
Whereas the other place is in a mall.
Right. And so
I would think there would be different standards to people coming to a mall to go to doing some paperwork versus somebody who's going into an actual government building.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, so anyway, that's my bogus of the week. How about yours, Jills?
My bogus is really silly, but you can't do FaceTime here. And I feel sad about it. I love FaceTime. I feel like it's the best. If you're an Apple user, it is the best way to chat with people. We've been using Google Meet. It is hit or miss for at least my phone. I don't know how it is. Your phone, it seems to be okay. I talk to more people than you do, but mostly, I mean, I have only talked to my family members, but I have more family members. So it's been fine, but I miss FaceTime a lot, and I wish that we could use it. So it's not a really important one, but it's just one I miss. It's that a little convenience that I really miss.
Yeah. I mean, it is very nice having the ability to have these video calls back home, though.
Oh, so grateful. I mean, honestly, this is the way we keep T connected to his grandparents, to his aunts and uncles and cousins. It's important. If any other members of our family and friends out there want to have some video calls, let us know, because it's good for all of us, honestly.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the connection opportunities. And even though our 11-hour difference between here and the West Coast can be challenging, we're still doing it mostly once a week. So it's important.
Yeah, and you make it work.
Yeah.
You make it work. It's a long, we're oftentimes on different days when we're talking back home.
Yeah.
Definitely, whether it's light or dark out is different.
Yeah.
But it's been good, and I think I think everyone is appreciating having access to that and being able to communicate in a way that 10 years ago
we couldn't.
Be able to do this.
It's actually really cute because T will play soccer with his Nerf ball with you, or throw it to you, and he'll have me hold the phone so the grandparents can watch, or he'll have us bring the phone into his bedroom so he can show the pennants he got hung up and the new stuffies he has. So it's it's not as great as an in-person visit, but it's still allowing us to give people some insight into T's world, our world, and we get to see them and theirs. So it's some familiarity looking at us too.
Yeah.
Anyway, FaceTime, we miss it, but we're grateful for the video chats.
All right, so that pretty much concludes our episode for this week. Kind of bringing it a little bit full circle here with our title for this one.
Yep.
So Oasis, the band, is in the midst of a huge reunion tour right now. And
I saw that. I saw it and thought of you, mainly.
Well, I saw them in concert in Seattle at what was then Key Arena, probably about 25 years ago now.
I remember you talking. See, we're old people.
Yeah. And, that was actually kind of one of the first real concerts that I went to.
Yeah.
And had a blast. And now they're on tour again. And there's rumors that they're going to be doing tour dates again in 2026. Because it's gone so well in 2025. So this is my opportunity to tell Liam and Noel, come to Dubai in 2026.
They're definitely going to
come play Dubai. You've got at least one fan who's going to come and watch that show, and I'm sure there are thousands more who would be happy to come.
Oh my
to.
Gosh, they're definitely going to hear this episode and absolutely will book a venue. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about what I listed right after that because I didn't know where you were going with that, but I will tease for next week. We will talk about the performing arts in Dubai.
Okay.
The little bit that we know. We'll just talk about a little bit.
All right. Yeah. Well, once again, thanks for listening and be excellent to one another.
Have a great week, y'all.